finally filming my long-awaited Harry Potter makeup tutorial. So I'm gonna show you guys a little magic with makeup today. Let's get started. So to start off, I'm just gonna use my foundation, and this is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Foundation in the color R210. And I'm just going in with my beauty blender, and I'm gonna dampen it a bit, squeeze it out, and apply. I like using a damp beauty blender with this foundation because it actually blends really well and tends to not apply as cakey and thick because this foundation is a matte one. Oh, I forgot to take my nose ring out. There we go. I'm putting the foundation over my lips as well just because Harry does have very, very thin lips, and I'm going to make a base for my lips later on. So I'm going with my Jeffree Star concealer. It's so good. I love it. Just covering it over blemishes and any other spots I need. And then blend. Next I'm going in with my MAC paint pot in the color Painterly. This is just to set an even base for the eyelids for when we're going to apply the shadowing. So you're just blending that with your finger. Next I'm going in with my Chanel palette. It's just to use this medium toned brown, doesn't need to be Chanel or anything fancy, and a domed blending brush from Stila. I'm just applying the eyeshadow in the crease, but mainly focusing on the ends of my eye because I have very close together eyes and I like to make them look a bit more further apart, so I'm just fanning it out at the ends of the crease. And I'm also going to put a little amount under the eyes just to make my eyes look a bit more sunken. Next I'm going in with my Bobbi Brown palette. It's in the color Rich Caviar. I'm just using a bone color with a flat domed brush just to make my eyelid appear more protruding. I have very heavy set brows, so my eyelids don't really tend to pop out as much, so this is just to emulate that. I'm going back in with the Chanel palette in a darker brown, just to deepen the crease up with this skinny Morphe brush. Going back under the eyes again, just to accentuate the bags. Next I'm going in with a MAC eyeliner pencil in the color Costa Riche. It's just a chocolate brown, and I'm lining my upper lash line slightly, just again to give a bit more definition. And I'm just blending it out with a domed utility brush from Stila, just so it's not too harsh. I don't want to look too girly. This here is actually my favorite NYX product ever. It's called the Wonder Pencil. It comes in a few colors, but basically it acts as a concealer, a corrector, eyeliner, basically anything you need it for. And here I'm just putting it in my waterline just to make my eyes pop a bit more. And then I'm going in with a very slight amount of brown mascara. This is the Dior Show mascara, just very, very slightly, and that's it. Next are the eyebrows, and I'm going in with my favorite product. This is the Urban Decay Brow Blade. It's so good, especially for making Harry's thick brows. It has two ends. One end is a pencil, one end is a marker, and I'm going to start with the pencil side first, just to map out the shape of the brows generally, where I want them to go. Harry's brows are really, really thick, so I'm going to make them look a lot fuller than my brows are. I'm just drawing little hairs upwards and then blending a bit with my finger wherever I need to. I don't think I said before, but the color I'm using is called Dark Drapes. It's just the darkest one that they released. Now I'm going in with the marker side, and I'm going to fill them in a lot more, and this time draw little strokes of hairs, making them appear more bushy. Harry's eyebrows are really unkept. Daniel has the most majestic eyebrows ever, and I don't, so I'm just faking that with the hairs here that I'm creating. And I'm going to fan them out, just so they look more boyish. I'm really extending them on the inside. He almost has a kind of unibrow going on some of the films, so I like to make them really thick like that. Next I'm going with the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and this is just in a translucent shade. I'm just using this to powder under my eyes very slightly to set the concealer. Next I'm taking my favorite CoverGirl powder. This is in the color 105 Ivory, and I'm just setting my whole face with this, just because I tend to get very oily throughout the day, and at conventions I like to make sure my whole face is set, especially because I have very acne prone skin. And I'm taking a very fluffy brush just to blend all the powder out, give it a more natural finish. Then I'm taking an angled brush from e.l.f. and I'm going in with my MAC contour color here, and from my MAC palette it's actually just called Taupe. You don't want to take anything too warm like a bronzer, because then you're just going to look very bronzed. This is more just for contour, so again, keep the color cool. And I'm just bringing it down to make my face appear more square. And then I'm going to blend it with a fluffy Jeffree Star brush. I'm going in with another e.l.f. brush. This is a lot thinner, that way you can get a stronger line. And I'm just taking the Bobbi Brown palette again, and this is the very cool toned taupe on the end here. And I'm going to carve out the cheekbones even stronger, just where the socket will be the deepest. Next I'm taking a small angled eyeshadow brush, and I'm using this again with the Bobbi Brown taupe color, and I'm just going to contour my nose with it. It's a fluffy brush, so it works pretty well. And I'm just trying to emulate Harry's nose shape by just carving it out. And here I'm just making my nose go a bit more on an up angle, just to appear more flared like his. And I'm just blending it again with the Jeffree Star brush. I'm going back in with the MAC Chocolate eyeliner pencil, and I'm just carving out my nostrils just to make them appear more flared again. Focusing on the ends just so they look very flared. Blend all that out, just so it's not too harsh of a nostril. Going in with a very tiny little eyeshadow brush, just to line the tip of the nose, just to give it a little dent like his has. So I'm going in with my favorite NYX lip liner in the color Sandstorm, and I'm just drawing out the scar. Sometimes I use scar wax for this, rigid collided, but I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. I couldn't actually find it, so I'm just drawing out the scar. I do this a lot though, and making the shape of the lightning bolts. Going back in with the trusty NYX Wonder Pencil, and I'm just lining around the scar just to make it pop out a bit more, and also to clean up any of the edges. Then I'm taking a e.l.f. lip brush just to blend it all together. I'm taking the NYX Sandstorm lip pencil again, and I'm just outlining my eyes a bit more just to make them appear more baggy, and just to add a little bit more warmth and redness under the eyes. Same pencil, and I'm going to start lining my top lip. I already have concealer or a bit of foundation over my top lip just to make it look a bit more thin. Harry has no top lip, so I'm just lining it as little as I can. And I have a very excessively big bottom lip, so you can see where my natural lip line ends, And I'm just drawing it about half the size and blending it with my finger. Going back with my trusty NYX Wonder Pencil, and I'm just going to clean up the bottom lip here. And I'm using a lip balm just because Harry's lips actually look really luscious, and I wanted to blend it all together just so it doesn't look too cool. And I'm just taking a highlighter, I forgot to do this before, and with a very thin brush, I'm just going to add a bit of highlight to the tip of my nose and my cheekbones. It doesn't have to be a very excessive highlight, just something very natural, again, because you're going to be cosplaying a boy, and you don't want anything too shimmery or sparkly or anything really poppin'. Next, I'm going back with my CoverGirl powder just to carve out the cheekbones a bit more, adding depth to the contour that I did on my cheeks. I'm just blending it. And I also forgot to add a bit of blush. So here I'm going in with MAC Warm Soul, just to add a bit of flushed cheeks, because Harry does tend to have very flushed cheeks. I'm just focusing it on the center of my face. And you absolutely can't forget eyebrow gel. This is the Anastasia Clear Eyebrow Gel. You could also use the soap method. Harry's brows are so fluffy, so anything to really make your hair stand out will be great. And that's it for the makeup, so now I'm gonna go grab the glasses and the wig and be right back. Ta-da! Here's the completed look with the wig and the glasses. This is actually Harry's Goblet of Fire look. If you haven't noticed, it's actually one of his most iconic looks, in my opinion, and my favorite film from this series by far. If you guys decide to use my tutorial, please let me know and tag me so I could see. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!